Now we put you in a situation when you have received a summon from the court to give evidence about a patient you treated who was injured. So let us understand what the court wants to establish first. The first thing is who caused, homicide or suicide. Especially in strangulation, it may be hanging or strangulation. The second thing is what injury. Who caused what injury, when, where, how, and with what intention. This is what the court wants to know. So who caused? Suicide or homicide? What injury? Life-taking, life-endangering, disability producing, affecting vocation, recreation or activities of daily living. When? Either fresh or old. If old, how old? Where? So there may be evidence with the clothes of the patient. For example, there may be mud, there may be slush, there may be oil, which may indicate possibly where. How? With what weapon? Blunt, sharp, gunshot, rifle bullet. What weapon? With what intention? Was it accidental? Was the intention to kill or to maim? So if the patient is dead, it is CRPC 302, section 302. If the patient survives, but there was intention to kill, it is 304. Now the patient is dead, but it was accidental. Accidental, patient dead. Accidental, patient alive, 304A. So now I give you a situation. For example, there is a patient with splenomegaly and you go and hug him because of Eid or Holi and crush his rib. One of the rib goes into the spleen, he hemorrhages and dies. So now here your intention was not to kill. It was not to kill. But the patient died. So this is called as causa causati. It is called as culpable homicide not amounting to murder. So this is what the court wants to establish. Then the court wants to know what ill health in the patient now can be attributed to injury. For example, if he has diabetes from before, that cannot be attributed to that injury. But if he has a paralysis, radial nerve paralysis, that can certainly be attributed to a fractured shaft of humerus. Then the court wants to really find out how much is the loss of the patient because of injury. And by that they allot compensation from the third party insurance of the accused or the accused itself. So what are the documents that help the court answer these questions? The first is the patient or the person who brings the patient, that means brought by statement. Date and time should be recorded and the patient statement should be accurate. The first receiving doctor usually records this statement. If the patient is a child, less than 18 years, then it is the parents who give the statement. If the patient is in danger of dying, then this becomes a dying declaration. For dying declaration, you have to call the magistrate. You have to ensure confidentiality so that there is no duress on the patient. The patient's ability to give a statement is certified by the doctor in charge. And if the magistrate is not available, then the doctor himself has the responsibility of recording the dying declaration. What are the other evidences to answer these questions? So if patient may go and give a statement, patient or its relative may go and give a statement under section 164 to a magistrate or the police or even the police. Then a first information report. If not an FIR, a simple complaint to the police. Then the police may investigate and file a final report or a charge sheet. Till the police files the charge sheet and the investigation is on, then the case diary of the police. All these documents must be recorded in a manner that they comprehensively, precisely and truthfully answer the questions that I have shown you above with clarity. So after examining all these records, the most plausible theory is built and the doctor is supposed to help the court in bringing this theory as near to truth as possible. So a statement is recorded. On the statement, he is cross-examined by the prosecution and the defense lawyer so that the statement becomes accurate. Usually, when you are giving a statement in the court, there should be no repetition, no contradiction, no vagueness. There should be lack of conformity. There should be no lack of conformity with documentary evidence. And if you are cross-examined and the cross-examination is very skillful, you should still be able to take out the truth in this cross-examination. For example, a patient had a knife injury and developed an aneurysm in the neck. The aneurysm burst and the patient died later on while we were dressing. So the lawyer asked me in cross-examination, did the patient die as the direct result of injury? So when I said I want to volunteer statement because a yes or a no answer is not possible. He did die as an effect of injury, but not direct effect of injury. So I said I want to volunteer statement. So he said in cross-examination you can only answer yes or no. I said no, I want to volunteer statement before I answer this question. So I volunteered the statement that he died as a result of injury, but not as a direct effect of injury. And therefore the answer is yes to effect and no to direct. So you can also volunteer statement and you must bring the court as near to truth as possible. Then the injury description would include what site, skin, subcutaneous tissue, deep fascia, muscle, nerve, vessels, bone, joints, viscera, what structures involved, what is the likely duration of injury at the time of admission or recording the statement, or at the time of examining the patient now, what are the associations like comorbidity which will affect the outcome but is not the effect of injury, and complications like contamination and infection which are effects of injury and which may affect or cause an adverse outcome. Then what are the effects of injury on the patient, life endangering, limb endangering, function endangering, structure endangering, cosmetic. What are the effects? And what is the possible cause of the injury? That means which weapon, what direction, what distance, how old, what is the possible time when the weapon was used. And does the story correspond to the injury description given by given in the documents, especially the charge sheet. So this is about injury.